welcome to the Cave Spider Spawner EXP Farm tutorial. In this video I'm going to go over methods of transporting the cave spiders and all the little tricks you can use to help your farm along. Most people don't farm cave spiders because they're hard to deal with. They don't have anything really special about them other than they can have a chance to get multiple spawners next to each other. And that's why I started this whole thing. My Realms server that I've been playing on found a 4 spider spawner all next to each other and able to be activated at the same time with one player, which is crazy. And so I had to figure out how to farm them, so that led to this tutorial here. So today I'm going to go through every portion, every little section. You'll notice that there isn't much going on. I don't have a method to kill the spiders or damage them like a fall like most farms have, but honestly, if you have a sword with Sweeping Edge 3, that will do a lot of the damage, and once you get Bane of Arthropods 5, it's pretty much a one-shot for all the spiders in the collection area. So let's start it off. So we're going to start where the spiders start. In here I just have 5 spawners just for testing purposes. Make sure that this can handle that many. Obviously, if you had 5 spawners in this, you'd have to make this area a little bit bigger, and you know, I am missing a lot more spaces, so it's probably not equal to 5 spawners exactly. It's probably more equal to 4. But anyway, here we have a basic 9x9 area. So that's 4 blocks from the middle. 1, 2, 3, 4. There's the middle of that, and then 4 blocks from this middle. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right. So 4 blocks in every direction. A nice big hollowed area. You have 1 block above minimum, because they can spawn up on this top, and then they can spawn 1 block below. And then you want 4 blocks below that if you are not moving them out right away. Since we are flushing them out with water in this method, they get out pretty quickly, so by the time they fall and move in the water, they're already out of this zone. This is the zone here, the 4 glass panes, that the spawner will detect if there is a spider in that area. And if there is a spider in that area, it will not attempt to make another spawn. It's not just 1 spider, it's multiple spiders. I'm not sure what the exact amount is, but the whole point is you want to get them out of this area as soon as possible. So they make spawning attempts every couple seconds or so. I don't know the exact math, you can look it up, but essentially the method that I've got here is we're flushing them out quickly enough where it will, by the time it's ready to spawn again, there will be no spiders in the area. They will all have moved on. So that's not a big deal for this farm, but if you are making a farm where you are limited on space, like if it's down against the bedrock or something, you need to move them out of that area as fast as possible. So currently I don't have a method for getting spiders off of here. There are, with other spawners, you can leave these unblocked and raise the roof 1, and then that'll allow a lot more spawns. You can check out Ilmango's channel. He's got a video on exactly the rates and how much better. I think he said it was about 10% better if you have these as spawnable spaces, and it's mostly because of pack spawning, because when they spawn on a spawner, they don't spawn in the center of a block, they spawn on the edge. So you're actually missing out if you have this center block covered. You're actually missing out spawns in all of these 8 blocks. So I haven't figured out that yet. Maybe someone else can, but for now they're just going to be covered so that spiders don't get caught up there. Because if spiders get caught up there, then they won't attempt to spawn any more spiders. So that's another thing. You want to make sure that the spiders don't get caught in any of these corners. And I'll go through some tricks on how to do that. As you see this design, I don't have any things in the corners, and that's because I've yet to see one actually get caught in the corner. So hopefully it stays that way. So we just have some water. I just put 2 blocks down. The blocks actually don't matter right now. You can get rid of them. but I put one block on the far edge, filled with water, and then I put three blocks, not four, 3 blocks out all the way down, and that pushes the water stream out like that. And you need to do this because you need to get the water across the room, and it only goes 8 blocks, and we have a 9x9 room plus extra, so you need to do that. But you also need the water to be somewhat low, because if you keep taking it out like this, you'll notice the water gets higher, and then the spiders won't fit through. So make sure you only do 3 blocks. That does matter a lot. But you can remove these blocks if you want later. There's no reason to, but personally, I like them being gone because then the spiders kind of have more water to push them. If there's a block, right there, if there's a block, they have less water to bob up and down in, and sometimes they move around a little bit more. And we want to flush them as fast as possible, so we want the most control, right? All right, so we'll go into spectator mode here. We just have this wall here, just a 1-block wall. And underneath it, we have half slabs. All right, 4 on each side. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. We have a sign right in the middle, and then we have a water source at the bottom. So you see it comes out. The water's coming towards us here, and then we have one water source that goes those 4 blocks underneath the half slabs. All right, so we have those, and then that leads into a fence. You see that? So the fence won't stop the water, so you got to put a sign there. And what that does is when they hit the fence, it kind of pushes them up, and it makes them want to go into the next water source, which is right in the middle here, right behind this sign. And that's how we push them into a 1x1 area. So we keep the sign so that this water doesn't come out. We put the fence there so they pop up, and the sign below so that water doesn't come down, right? And then they're pushed into this 1x1 water section here. With that, there's also another couple tricks here. You notice that in these blocks here, I have some extra water. That's because I noticed that they were getting caught in this corner right here. And so when I switched it out with water that was running, not just stationary water, obviously, then they get pushed back into this single water stream, and then they go down. They never really got stuck on these 2 blocks. Never had a problem with that. It's only this corner that they got stuck, and they pile up and pile up and pile up. And you want to get rid of that, otherwise that's going to cause massive lag. So it's very important that we keep as few spiders from getting stuck in the system as possible, and that's what made this such a big challenge. So they go underneath the half slabs there, and then they go into the water into this one way. And just so you're aware, cave spiders are a half of a block in size. So this half block is identical to what their size is for the most part. Their hitbox. So anything that's a half block, they can go under it, they can go through it. They are 1x1 block wide, so they can go through a 1x1 wide block like that sideways. But that's the cave spider size, and that's why we're able to do that trick with the half slabs there. But that also, because they're a half a block, makes it really annoying. All of the water streams that you'll see, you notice the top of the water here, at the 5th block, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, it's actually less than a half a block high. So the big reasoning for all this shenanigans is because if we just had a simple water stream like that, every 4 blocks we'd have to make a new water stream, and then they would probably get stuck because there's no way to keep them moving. So that's why we have this method of horizontal transport. I saw a video on it by Sheen depudding. Credit goes to him for that design. He was having trouble in 1.14 here getting the spiders into this, though, and that is what I've designed here along with this catching method. I went through so many different catching methods, like a toilet bowl method to this method to another method, and then finally back to this method because this one just I have yet to see a spider have a problem with it. So what we have there is they get caught in this center water stream, and they're just moving along, and then we have this method to push them into a bubble stream, a bubble column. what we have here is a little trick with the back of the stairs that I saw in Sean depudding's video. If we put a stair like this and we waterlog it, you notice that the water doesn't come out because it's blocked by the stair. But if we put some other water next to it, it will count that block as water. So normally, if we put some water down, it would be going straight. But when we put it down like right here, you notice that water starts moving and we get a diagonal. And that diagonal action is really important, especially for cave spiders, because now instead of having to make a whole nother section for water like this, where they could potentially get stuck, we have a flat wall that is able to divert the water, which is really important to our design here. So I have that twice in here to force them into this location. Very cool trick, very important. So I just have 1, 2, 3 blocks. Like I said, 4 is the maximum. If I went one more block, that would be as far as I could go. So you want to do this really quickly. 3 blocks of flat water, along with the stair trick there to diagonalize the water. That is a word. I checked it. I'm lying. I didn't check. We put the water into a diagonal there, in between some fence posts. 2 fence posts of different style, or in this case, since they're diagonal, they could be the same if you wanted, is exactly 1 block in width. And that's what this whole system here is based on. But to get them into that system, we have to send them diagonally through there. So we use that to divert the water, and that pushes them into the bubble stream. Once they get to the top of the bubble stream, it's just one block over, and then we put them on the cobblestone wall. So that's the most important thing, is we get them nudged up against this fence, at least one of the fences, and we get them on top of the cobblestone wall with the stair there. So when they get on top of that cobblestone wall, remember, since it's a fence, it is a half a block higher than it actually looks. So the spiders will be at this level, actually, at the minimum. And they are 1/2 block in size, so you'd think that they just get stuck there, but they don't, because they love to climb. And because of that, they never get stuck. I have yet to see a single spider ever get stuck in my countless hours of designing this system. But this right here, the bubble stream column, pushes them right into that fence, and then they take off. What keeps them from climbing out is this half slab here. This half slab gives them enough room to be on that level, at the top level, but also, because this is a fence here, this is actually a half a block higher too, even though you can't see it. So they cannot come out of here, even though it looks like they can. They can't go out the other side because it's blocked off, and then the water here pushes them right along. And because we're not using the top half of the water, remember, the 5th block is less than a half a block, we're using the bottom half, right? And because we're using the bottom half, we're able to use the full water length, and then once we get to the end, we just switch sides. And that diagonal takes off like water, like the water didn't even stop. So the spiders just coast right along. They go around corners perfectly, no problems there. And then when you get to the end, you can put them in a bubble column. As simple as that. I just kept the fence going, up. So it has to be a 2-block wide bubble column, essentially. But, they can't get stuck, so that's all that matters. And then they pop up into this little cage area. Again, I have the water running 4 blocks, so they don't get stuck anywhere. They have to, or they pretty much are pushed 100% up to the front here as much as possible. And with this area, you don't get any mob cramming, which is great. But you'll see here that I just have one source in this corner, one source in that corner, and that kind of pushes them to the middle. They don't stay in the middle, but it gets them to where you need them to be. And then the last thing I have here is a neat little trick. Someone in my Discord posted a funny stair video, a funny stair picture in Minecraft of all the different block heights and how to make a stairway that's 1 block, but it's really long. And I used that to find out that beds are actually 1 Minecraft pixel there higher than half slabs. So they cannot go through this little section here. They get all caught, and you can hit them as much as you like. I also found that it was hard to gather XP, so I put some stairs beneath where they sit, so the water doesn't go through, but the EXP and the drops will fall down here. All the experience is available for you to grab right here. Sometimes it gets caught, so you have to shift, but otherwise you'll get all the experience and everything works great. So let's take a gander, and we'll watch the spiders as they go through, so you can get an idea of what that looks like. Also, you notice I didn't, in here, there's a little bit of light coming through. You're going to want to make sure to make that as dark as possible, so, get rid of some of this glass. But for demonstration purposes, it's better to see what the spiders are up to. So I'll go in here, and you'll see that these spiders kind of get stuck, but that's okay. They're out of the 4-block radius, the 9x9x4 underneath the spawner, so it's fine if they get stuck under here a little bit. We just don't want them piling up infinitely. So they get stuck, but eventually they will either climb or move or path and then get pushed by the water, or some more spiders will come in and they'll push them. But you notice it is kind of a free-for-all. They are just kind of popping around. Almost every other design, they would just get stuck, and it was a pain. Trust me, it's a pain if you work with cave spiders, but hopefully you find this video and it's easy for you to make your cave spider farm. But you see there, they have no problems taking turns getting up in there. And like I said, I've had this running for about an hour, and I had no spiders up in the corners, which so far has been the best by far out of any of the designs that I've gone with. So I'm really happy about that. You see that they come up here in the 1 block. They don't have a chance to get stuck anywhere because there's no open blocks. There's no spots where the water is less than or more than 5 blocks long, so there's no way for them to get into a spot where they can't be pushed by the water. They're constantly being pushed, which makes them constantly be moved. And then they pop up there in the bubble column, and it puts them right up onto that cobblestone wall. And now looking at this, I'm actually wondering if I even need this bubble column at all. You might actually be able to just skip the bubble part and just go, right from regular water pushing to on there. So if you want to do that, go for it. Try and use this. I'm using the same method here. I'm just moving the opposite direction, right? So just put some cobblestone walls underneath where the soul sand is there, and start it off 1 block lower, or that'd be 2 blocks lower. But yeah, go for it, But as you see, Sean depudding's style works great. The spiders get pulled right along, and there's nothing they can do. Even around corners, they don't get stuck. They just keep getting pulled by the water, or pushed, however you want to call it. And then you see they just pop right up. You notice a lot of them get caught in the front there, but not all of them. So you have to do a couple hits in order to get them. But there you have it. That is the full spider spawner tutorial. If you have any questions, please comment below. Give this video a like if you've been trying to make a cave spider farm and you've been failing miserably just like me. And don't forget to check out the world download. It is in the description. Please let me know how I did. And thank you very much. Have a good one, guys.